Hey everybody, and welcome to another Flipping Pages. Now in this episode we are gonna flip through this magazine over here. This is Wargames Illustrated, issue 461, May 2026. With this issue you get one of the two tanks for free. In my case I got the Vickers, which is just kind of cool, and this is from Battlefront. Okay, so let's just dive inside. I feel that this is it's a tank issue for me. Wait till you see why. Okay, so the cover art is, let me see now, is from Blitzkrieg by Battlefront. So this is a Battlefront cover, right? It's very nice looking actually. And if you want this cover without any other fuss, head on over and get Wargames Illustrated Prime a subscription, and you'll get the cover, without any of the fuss. Now, again, Wargames Illustrated does not give me anything for me to do slip throughs. I have no obligation to say nice things or not nice things, but I'm only doing this because, hey, I like flipping through magazines. What can I say? Okay, so first off, we got Observation Post, and they talk about Warlord Games' new book, the Armies of Italy. We had a player in the store, I think about a few years back, who played the Italian army. He didn't really have that much luck, to be honest, but he just enjoyed the figures. He just enjoyed painting them, and we did talk about the rules, and it's nice to know that the rule that he didn't really like too much, the Avanti Savoia, is now removed from the rules, and it's changed. They've streamlined it. There are a whole lot of different rules in the book. So he's not here anymore, the guy who used to play. He's gone back to his country. He was an expat, but I'm sure he's happy to see this new book that's just come out from Warlord Games. Moving along, we've got a scenario book from Rapid Fire. Now, whenever I hear the word Rapid Fire, I'm thrown back to gaming in the mid-90s. I used to play a lot of 20mm plastic miniatures using Rapid Fire, and it's always got a soft spot in my nostalgic landscape. And in this case, they've just got a new book out, and this is the scenario book for Barbarossa, which is kind of cool. Next up, we have Mace Face Miniatures, and this is from their Dark Zone selection. These are all modern, which is also very, very cool. Modern seems to be doing a slight resurgence recently, and now with Spectre operations and stuff like that, I'm sure lots of folks aren't too shy to give modern a go. Next up, we got Flames of War with their Blitzkrieg plastics. I did not know Flames of War went plastic, but they have, and as you can see here, there's some samples of the frame. Looks quite nice actually, if you ask me. So yeah, there you go, an ad for Flames of War's Blitzkrieg. Moving along, we have the release radar, and we start off with some Infinity. And this whole page is about paints actually. So Infinity has done work did a collaboration with Army Painter for their two sets, their two paint sets. This is for O2, O12 and Combined Army. Now, if you get the sets, you get some free miniatures with it, which is a really good idea. They have a few sets actually in collaboration with Army Painter. Whenever you buy a new set, you get a free miniature. Very, very cool. And then, not to be outdone, we have Ammo by Mick and Weird Games, Weird Miniatures, doing their own paint sets. Again, very, very cool. I like these collaborations. It helps the new player. When you want to get into the set, getting a starter set is always great in terms of the colors that you want. But when you get a faction color set, you already know the colors that are in there are the colors you need. Moving along, we have Bizarre Bazaar, and this is by Bad Squeedo Games, and you've got all these Nazis in very, they say, humiliating positions. One taking a dump in his helmet and stuff like that, which is strange. But yeah, if you like stuff like that, head on over to Bad Squeedo Games. And then we have Cataphrag Games with this another strange release, and these are basically creatures that you get, or monsters that you get in medieval manuscripts. Very nice idea actually. You got the asp over here, a giraffe, and the basilisk. I mean, if you like this really stylized monster thing, yeah, head on over to Cataphrag and have a look-see. Moving along, we've got Empress Miniatures, and they've got the World War One Sikhs Indian Army contingent over there. And then we have a Pandyman Entertainment with they've got this game coming out called Trench Offensive, and these are some of the miniatures for it. And we got Patrick Miniatures, the German company, with some 3D prints. You can also get the STLs from Patrick. I mean, I found out about Patrick simply because I was doing a deep dive into Spectre operations, right? So yeah, so now Patrick's like, Patrick. Anyways, moving along, we have 1898 miniatures with their, let me see, what's this? Visigoths. Whole lot of Visigoths. Now, look, you know what? The miniatures look really, really nice. There's my wallet is only so big, right? But you know, if you could, man, the miniatures really, really nice, really, really fantastic. And then we got Great Escape Games, and they've just released their US Cavalry. This is now in the store. These are also quite nice. And for guys who do not want to play, you know, the Cowboys, or you know, you can actually choose to play the US Cavalry. Moving along, we have some GHQ. GHQ. Well, back in the day when you say, you know, moderns, somehow or other GHQ will just pop into conversation, and it's nice that they're here as well. You know, GHQ's got tanks, and this is like a tank issue, so this is kind of perfect. And speaking of tank, here's some Warlord Games tanks. If you're a tank head, you know, you got a whole lot of different tanks for you to purchase, right? You got Warlord Game tanks, you know, at this scale, you got your Battlefront tanks, and then you've got your Rubicon tanks and stuff like that. Moving along, here under Quickfire, here we've got this event. It's called Herds of Lard 2026, and this is basically the Two Fat Lardies sort of convention event, which I thought is very, very cool. Two Fat Lardies definitely has a lot of fans, and it's nice to see that, you know, they've got their act together to do a little event. Check that out. And then we have the advert for Offensive Miniatures, and these are the new releases, the US Para releases from Offensive Miniatures. Again, one of those I'm kind of curious to try and have a look-see, but haven't got around to it yet. Okay, so the frame that I got was the Vickers, and as you can see over here, they teach you how to assemble the Somua S35 or the Vickers light tank, and it's very, very cool. So if you're new and you're a newbie and you just picked up the magazine, you have no idea what was going on, somebody got it for you because they thought it'd be nice for you to try this out. Everything you need to know to build it is right here. It's not left to your imagination, which is good for a newbie, right? And I totally appreciate it. It's here in the magazine. And then you got Arnhem as one of the locations for the cultural experience tours. Heinz Figures pays the bills in this advert. And then we have this article here over here. It's called By Force and Valor. This is a free STL file that you got at Salute, if I'm not mistaken, right? And what's happened here is you got Matt Parks. He's done a diorama using the miniature, right? Which I think is a really cool idea, to take a miniature you got from Salute, you know, in STL file, and just go for it. I think it's always kind of nice, because when you get one of these like, you know, diorama looking figures, you're not so sure how to include them into your army. And since this year's Salute is also themed cavalry, so you got, you know, the US 40th Cavalry Regiment as the free STL. Very, very nicely done, and a nice miniature to paint. Everything you need to know, from the basics to the colors that you need over here. And now, First Score, knowing that this is the tank magazine, tank issue, First Score have their tanks out for you to check out and enjoy. And then, so you won't be so confused with the tank that you have. Here is some background on the Vickers Light Tank Mark 4, Mark 6, and the S35 Somua, right? Which is, I think, articles like this, when you have a free frame, is quite important, right? Because when somebody gets the magazine, you know, they want to know what they're building, and some background on what they're building is always a great idea. And then, speaking of Rubicon, as I was saying earlier, Rubicon have their own tank kits for you to jump in. And then Warhammer Army Painter Historicals have their Soviet Union, World War II stuff, and the British 8th Army. These are new paint sets that have just come out, right? And again, these are paints, they are curated for this particular army. So if you're just starting out and you want to paint the Soviet army, right, just get the box and you should be sorted, right? Moving along, we've got from Caen to Montcornet. Now what this is, it's basically one of the tables, right, from Salute 53. And I was reading the article and it says it was built actually for a chain of command, but what it did instead was they used what a tanker as from Two Fat Laddies, right, as a rule set for this game. And you know, if you go through it, right, it's really nice. It's got all these nice shots of the table. Now, if you're doing a battle report, I think nice shots of the table is kind of cool. Our hobby is a visual hobby, if you ask me, and having nice pictures of tables is always a great idea. Have a look at that. It's really, really cool, really, really nice. Anyways, yes, as you can see, they use What a Tanker as a rule to play on this Salute 53 demo table. Fantastic. Moving along, we have an advert from Warlord Games, and as you can see, this is the release schedule, if I may. April 2026, Armies of Italy. July, it's the British Commonwealth, and then Armies of France in October. Moving along, we have the advert for Warriors of Athena and the miniatures. We covered this in the last flip through, and like I said, Ray Harryhausen, man, he feels that the miniatures are inspired by, you know, his vision, right, of fantasy. Moving along, how to paint, which is also great, right? How to assemble, a little bit of history, and then how to paint the tank that you get for free. Really, really cool. I think Flames of War's collaboration with Wargames Illustrated is a really good one, and as you can see over here, you know, it helps you, you know, really utilize the free frame that you get. Moving along, we have Wayland Games, and we have Victrix, Scots and Picks, which I knew. And then we got Hammerhead 2026, paint the competition, winners gallery. Like it or not, right? You gotta paint your figures. Some of us paint well, some of us don't paint well. But it's always nice to look at nicely painted figures. I'm gonna bring this close up here. Check this out. This is this one got gold. Medieval knight. Yeah, look at that. Look at the detail on the miniature, man. That's a lot of work. And then you got over here the trumpeter. We'll see this figure later in the issue. And then we have Lancer. Very nice. Moving along, we've got historical unit or war machine. It's got some German World War II stuff here. The Scots Grey. I always like the Scots Grey. It's that poster, isn't it? It's that picture of the Scots Grey, isn't it? Yeah. Tree, I guess, you know, you could have more, but yeah. I'm quite partial to the charge of the Scots Grey. Anyways, the figures are from Victrix, and then you have American War of Independence right here. Moving along, is fantasy single figure. You've got, let me see now. You got Ogre, a blood-spelt hunter from Games Workshop, and you got Elrond from Games Workshop, and then you've got Perseus, Games Workshop, with Victrix conversion, which is kind of cool. And then over here, like, check this out. You got some under 16s. We at the store have some under 16s, and I'm not. When I was 16, I didn't really paint this well, and some of the paint jobs I'm seeing from guys who are below 13 are really great. I think the fact that you got all these like tutorials on how to paint well, right, have really helped the hobby. Some of the paint jobs I'm seeing coming out from some really young kids, right, are really great. In fact, even now at my older age, they still paint better than me, which is all good. Moving along, we have Fantasy Unit, War Machine and Monster, some Blood Bowl over there, some Night Goblins and Keeper of Secrets, and then we got some notable entries there. Oh, hey, hang on, there you go. Crucifixion. And then you have Greek Hoplite, Earl of Uxbridge and stuff like this. And then we've got the next category, which is basically the sci-fi single miniature. And these are mostly like Games Workshop. I wish during the sci-fi single miniature category, there are another manufacturer, but I can understand why. The Games Workshop sculpts are really quite nice. And then we have Sci-Fi Unit, War Machine and Monsters, and over here we got, there you go. Crucifixion Order of St. George from Hollow Crown Miniatures. And then you have Games Workshop Battle Tank, and then another Games Workshop entry. Hell's Last from Games Workshop. Okay, and then we have open. Here, like you know, it's open. It's like it's open to any. So it can be a bus. It can be anything, and you have Sir Lancelot. Just looks really nice. And you got a gnome, and then you got a pirate bust, which is cool. And you got dioramas over here. Dioramas are always nice. And then moving along, we have Mardav paying the bills, Skytrax paying the bills, and then this other tour group, Geek Nation, offering you to head to Kanazawa, Japan. Okay, so next up we have all have done their duty, and this is an article by Karim von Overmeyer. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I totally apologize. But he's very passionate about this game. In fact, he actually went to on location to actually it was on location. He went on holiday, which is kind of cool, and he did his own rule set for this, which you can actually download from Wargames Illustrated .net. Very cool. It's a game uses cards. You all play on one side, side of the Germans, which I think is really cool. Okay, moving along, we have Editor's Choice, and this, as I said earlier in the Hammerhead article, is the editor choosing the miniature he wants to talk about, then that would work best for his magazine. And here is everything you need, the breakdown of the miniature and how to get it from bits and bobs to a very nicely done figure like that. I mean, the painter, let me see now. What's his name? Oh dear God. Christopher Tasker. And he has, well, he's had a few really good entries. I don't remember names very well, but I remember some of the figures in the old magazines, which is kind of cool. And as you can see, using enamel and stuff like that, this is totally different level. Okay, moving along, we have Amid the Ruins of Jirash, and in this one, the editor on holiday decided to get some help from TM Terrain to build the game that he wants to play, using Assassins and Templars, a Ruckus game that you got from Wargames Illustrated to run his game. Like I said, articles like this, you want to have a look at the terrain, you want to have a look at the inspiration in the interview. This is what makes a magazine like this really worth its weight in gold. Moving along, level up your painting. Competition painters share their approaches, and this is also a great article. All of the paint jobs that were done in the Hammerhead showcase earlier, some of them have given a short little interview on how they got around to getting their miniatures done, and tips and tricks and inspirations, which again, every year you got a new batch. So this is just a snapshot moment in time, which I think is great. If you're a collector of nicely painted miniatures, you might want to get this article, because like I said, it's a moment in time. Next year will be a different batch, but it's always nice to look back and see what was it like at Hammerhead 2026. Okay, moving along, we have an advert for Art Master Studio, and then designer notes is always, I like these articles the most when you have designers talking about the game, right? And this is Blood of the Sands, how it works, the thoughts behind it. And the reason I'm brushing through this very quick is simply because I'm going to acknowledge Helion Company, and then North Star, and Athena, and Knuckle Duster, and Patrick, and stuff like that. But let me just go to the front. You actually get the game, Blood and Sands, a 32-page rule book in the next issue, and a frame to get the gladiators. So that's why I rushed through it. But slowing back down and going back in time, I'd like to thank Arrowhead Miniatures and Tumbling Dice. And here you got advert for Partisan, which is coming. All is helping to pay the bills. And then inside the back cover, you got King John. This is already out, a source book for the Barons War. And would you believe it? It's Gripping Beast at the back with, let's say, Carl Somoldarson. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's Wargames Illustrated issue 461, May 2026, that comes with a free frame. Depending on your luck or your choice, or all the options open to you, you get one of two frames in this magazine. If at another point, you got this secondhand or from bargain bin and this was not here, you know that this was supposed to be there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's the magazine flip through of Wargames Illustrated 461. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed talking about it while flipping through the magazine. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like content like this. And as always, don't forget to enjoy painting those figures.